Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. You probably recognize that. It's part of the Lord's Prayer, a prayer that Jesus gave us as a model for prayer, how to come before God the Father in prayer. He says, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Is Jesus saying that God is the one who leads us into temptation and potential evil? It kind of seems like that on the surface, doesn't it? But that can't be true, because we know that that contradicts everything we know about God to be true from His Word. So what's going on here? When we get to a text like this that is puzzling and contradictory of what we know to be true about God, we're missing something, and we need to dive deeper into it. So that's what we're doing today, diving deeper into this portion of the Lord's Prayer that says, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Is Jesus saying that God is the one who leads us into temptation? No. And James, the brother of Jesus, makes that absolutely clear. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted by evil, and He Himself does not tempt anyone. But each one is tempted when he is carried away and enticed by his own lust. No, God is not the one who leads us into temptation. And if we fall to a temptation, that's on us, not on Him. So again, what is Jesus saying in the Lord's Prayer? We get a little more insight from the high priestly prayer that we find in John 17, a prayer that Jesus offered to God the Father on our behalf, on your behalf and my behalf. He prayed this, I do not ask you to take them out of the world, but to keep them from the evil one. Father, I'm not asking you to take my people out of their circumstances, no matter how difficult they are. I'm asking you to enter into those circumstances with them and protect them against the evil one, against Satan, who is the tempter. We are going to encounter trials in our lives. The Lord allows those trials to strengthen our faith, to help us see how fully dependent we are on Him, and to build our trust and our confidence in Him. But the enemy knows that the trials of life are also fertile ground potentially for him. So he enters into them as well and tempts us to rebel against God. Let me give you an example. The doctor sees something on a scan that he doesn't like. It may be cancer, but it's going to be days, maybe weeks, before you know for sure. God enters into that circumstance and says, trust me. But the enemy is also in that trial and says, God's not trustworthy. You need to be afraid. Be very, very afraid, knowing that fear is rebellion against God, and that's the enemy's objective. So what do? You pray. Lead me not into temptation, but deliver me from evil, God. God, enter into my trial with me. Give me your strength and your courage and your power to stand in victory, not to fall to the temptation of fear and rejection of you, but to stand in your love for me, knowing that you, the God who loves me like crazy, so much so you died for me, knowing you will get me through this trial. And on the other side, together, we will claim victory.